say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
Bill Clinton was born August 19, 1946 in Hope, Arkansas to his mother, Virginia Cassidy. He adopted his last name from his stepfather because his father had died before he was born. At a young age, he became a devoted Baptist and talented saxophone player, being influenced by black gospel music. While he did consider going into musical and medicinal careers, he felt influenced by John F. Kennedy Jr. and Martin Luther King Jr. to go into a political career, one of public service. During his college and law school years, he met his future wife, Hillary Rodham, marrying her in 1975. Afterwards, he was governor of Arkansas for several years and then ran for the presidency as a dedicated Democrat, specifically a branch called the New Democrats. He soundly defeated George H.W. Bush, becoming the 42nd President of the United States in 1993. During his terms, he worked on fixing the economy and healthcare, along with other important issues. But his work on these is not what many Americans remember him for today. They remember him for the Lewinsky Scandal. While Clinton may have had affairs with multiple other women, his most famous affair was with the then 22-year-old White House intern Monica Lewinsky. After being hired as an intern in 1995, she began to have a sexual relationship with Clinton up until the affair was discovered in 1998. Lewinsky had been talking to a coworker, Linda Tripp, about the affair, and was unknowingly being taped. After Lewinsky continued to deny a relationship with Clinton in another sexual harassment case, Tripp released the tapes to a lawyer who had been investigating Clinton, Kenneth Starr. Starr used these tapes along with DNA evidence to prove that Clinton did have sexual relations with Lewinsky, and to show that Clinton had lied under oath, committing perjury, eventually calling for his impeachment. He became the second president to be impeached, the first being Andrew Johnson, although Clinton was later acquitted. Other women later came out saying that they had been either romantically involved or sexually harassed or abused by Clinton. A total of 6 women claimed this sort of interaction with Clinton, ranging from 1978 to 1998. It was the Lewinsky Scandal, however, that had the greatest impact on America. Even though he had a positive impact on the black community, Clinton had a damaging impact on American morale and public perception of government officials with the Lewinsky Scandal. The scandal and Clinton's dishonesty in particular brought distrust to the government and its officials, set bad precedents for future generations of Americans through his poor choices during the scandal, and hurt the morale and pride of the American people because of the profound immorality of his having an extramarital affair inside the White House. The scandal created distrust with the relationships between White House officials and Bill Clinton, and also distrust of the U.S. government within the American public, similar to Nixon and the Watergate scandal. White House officials working for Clinton didn't publicly express their disapproval towards Clinton due to the fear of growing anger within the U.S. public, but still were indeed very resentful at such a moral crisis. Journalist Joe Klein writes in the book The Natural about how White House staff members were privately shocked at such a crisis. And even though White House staff defended Clinton strongly on television, they still felt betrayed. Since Clinton had lied, the American public became more suspicious of the American government and future presidents on whether or not they lied regarding certain issues. This was a huge blow to the American public, as they could no longer fully trust presidential figures who were supposed to be seen as exemplary figures and morally upright. This was a huge blow to the American public, as they could no longer fully trust presidential figures who are supposed to be seen as examples and morally upright individuals representing the nation as a whole. Even though Clinton had achieved great domestic success in terms of fixing the economy, and even had one of the highest approval ratings at his time, it is clear that due to the Lewinsky scandal, the public's approval and trust in him sharply declined. A CNN Gallup USA Today poll asked if America was better off with Clinton or George Bush as president. Bush got 49% to Clinton's 46%. However, the same poll asked whether Clinton or George Bush was the more trustworthy president. Bush clearly dominated, with 56% saying he was more trustworthy than Clinton, who only got 35% of the vote. Another poll asked, which of the following do you think will happen to Bill Clinton first? He'll run for mayor of New York City, will be the first man when Hillary becomes president, or he'll become involved in another scandal. The first two options received 22% and 13% respectively. However, 37% of surveyors thought Clinton would get involved in another scandal, or at least before the other two choices. One of the main effects of Bill Clinton's sex scandal is that it set precedents for the American people in general to be dishonest citizens. A clear argument that has been made since the Lewinsky Scandal is that how do we expect our future generations to be honest and noble citizens if our own president could not even keep his word on national television in front of the whole nation? All of a sudden, it's not that bad for people to lie under oath if it's for the purpose of saving oneself or a friend from going to prison. This trend mainly started because Bill Clinton did it to protect himself. This scandal has also opened up doors for scandals like this to be extremely prevalent in today's generation. Today, people are accustomed towards hearing about sex scandals, especially when it involves celebrities or politicians. Bill Clinton's sex scandal and its main effects have been that not only have people in today's generation been accustomed to seeing scandals like these, but now people do not look at the important things in politicians anymore. Voters equally judge the personal aspects of a candidate along with the candidate's views and plans for action. As population becomes more captivated by these political scandals, the media has consequently overly covered these events. The Lewinsky Scandal dealt a hard blow to the morale and pride of the American populace, exposing the moral failings of the president and consequently the nation. Under Clinton, America's economy had flourished and optimism surged as the country braced for the 21st century. As a result, the Lewinsky Scandal was a shock to many Americans. Clinton looked straight into the camera at millions of Americans and lied to them. This man was to represent the American people, and all that was seen was a cheating man who pathetically lied of an affair. There was only one group who supported him despite his problem: the black community. He was considered the first black president by many, and was easily relatable to them due to his upbringing and work for race relations. Ultimately, Clinton temporarily tarnished America's self-image, and permanently left a mark on American expectations of politicians.